Hey guys, back with another dream, and I started it a few minutes ago, and my tablet thing died, so I have to be over here in this small little corner because my cord won't reach very far. So I have to kind of lean over and do this. But anyway, I had this dream on April 20th, 2016, and I meant to get it out that day because I really feel like this is very urgent. But I've been so busy, and but I'm gonna go ahead and do it before I go to bed. It is actually 1 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. Oh, okay, I think it's charging. Anyway, what was I saying? I'm so tired. Oh yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so you have to excuse the way I look because I still need to get ready for bed. I'm gonna try to get this done. So, anyway, the dream was April 20th, 2016, and I was in a store that I owned, which was also my house was part of that store. And I thought that I had closed the store that day because I remember thinking it was Sunday. And I went into the store to go to my house, which was like some kind of apartment or something on the back of it or above it. I think it was upstairs or something like that. And I noticed I had a customer. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll ring this customer up, because I must have forgot to close the store for the day. And the strange thing about it was the customer that was there was this girl that I had went to school with from kindergarten all the way up to high school. We weren't really close friends or anything, but her name is Grace, and she's the only person I know with that name. So I thought that was really interesting that that's who was in the store. And I walked up to the counter to ring her up, and she had put a calendar on the counter. And I don't remember seeing a year or even the name of a month on the calendar. But I just remember seeing a full month, like 30 days or something on the calendar. And I went to ring it up, and on my cash register was this alarm that went off, and it was like a really, really loud alarm. And it just, it was so loud, I was trying to hurry up and like turn it off, and messing with this little switch to turn it off, and it would not turn off. This thing would not turn off. Um, so finally, it went off on its own. Okay, so as soon as the alarm went off on its own, the scene switched, and I was in a car. Sorry, this keeps shaking. This has to sit on my leg because I can't get it to go any farther with this cord. Um, anyway, I was in a car, and I was driving the car, but with me was this guy that was supposedly my husband. I never got a good look at his face. I was never able or allowed to see his face. I just knew he was my husband and he was the passenger. And we had two little girls in the back seat that were our kids. And we're driving into, get this, Washington, D.C., okay? Now, in real life, I've only been there once, when my boys were very little, like, I don't know, 5 and 7, and they're now 20 and 22. So that was a really, really long time ago when I was there. Um, so I don't remember a lot about it. Anyway, so we're driving into Washington, D.C., and to the right was this kind of cliff, and there was, well, not, I don't want to really say cliff, but, some land that was kind of going up, and there was buildings up there, and all of a sudden, every single building in Washington, D.C. just started collapsing all at one time. Every building, every house, everything just started collapsing, and it was such a loud rumble sound. It was so scary, so realistic, and I just remember seeing lots of just dust, just, rolling up from all these buildings, crumbling and collapsing. And I immediately stopped the car, and anyway, I got out of the car and was standing there just looking, and the only thing I could see that was still standing was this bridge that had like archways like this on the bottom of it. And as soon as I looked at it, basically it just collapsed as well. And once this bridge collapsed, then everything started to flood. So the water just kept getting higher and higher. And there were cars behind me that were also parked with people in them. And we are just kind of freaking out. Like, oh my gosh. And I remember saying, do you see that? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? You know, because it was so unbelievable. And my husband says, yes. And I said, well, we might as well just sit here and die because there's no way in or out of this place. Everything was gone. There was no road. You couldn't even see a road anymore. And I happened to look over to the left after I said that, and I seen this hill, and there were some buildings that had collapsed on that hill as well, but you could still see the hill. It was the highest point I could see of land, so we all started running up this hill. And the people that were parked behind me started also running up the hill, but there were very, very few people. I'm going to guess probably around maybe 10 to 15 people running up this hill with me and my husband. And he has a baby that was with us, and then also the other girl that we had was running up. And he says to everybody, everybody keep an eye out for our kids. Their names are Katie and Claire. Now this is really weird. I don't know anybody by those names, so that was also really, really strange to me when I woke up and was thinking about this. I'm like, what is going on? So, anyway, we get up to the top of the hill, and we were on top of a building that had collapsed. There was like a roof or something that was kind of flat, so we all climbed up on top of that, and then the scene changed to where we were in a hotel room with our two little girls, and I knew that a helicopter had came and lifted us up into the sky and taken us to this hotel. Okay, so anyway, we were safe, and we're sitting in the bed, about ready to go to bed, and the little girl Katie decides she's going to pick up the remote control and start trying to turn the TV on. And the TVs won't come on, but when she's pushing the buttons, then this image pops up on the wall, and it was New York City. That's what it was. Like if you were to look at New York City with all the buildings and everything, with all, lights lit up at night, it's New York City just by looking at that. That's what it was. And I said, oh my goodness, that's New York City. And then she pushes the button again, and the TV comes on, and the cartoon movie, I think it's made by Disney, I'm not sure, but I know I've seen it once. It was The Prince of Egypt. The words came on the screen. It was that cartoon movie, and it said The Prince of Egypt. So immediately I just said, oh my gosh, and I'm saying this to my husband, I said, oh my gosh, I said, God is going to wipe out New York City just like he did the Egyptians. Like when Moses went to get, the Israelites out of Egypt, and he let the sea, fall on them. That's what my mind was thinking about in the dream. And then I woke up. So of course, that's kind of crazy dream, right? Crazy. And my first thought was I just felt so bad for everybody in Washington, D.C., and I felt really bad for everybody in New York City. And I felt so bad. I was literally crying and praying for those people for a good 30 minutes. And anyway, so I'm thinking about this dream for, like an hour after I dreamt it, and I kept thinking, what is this about, grace and the calendar and all that? And I really feel like, I don't know about everybody else, and you can leave in the comments what you think, but back in December, right around Christmas time, I really felt like there was something big was going to happen. It just was something inside my spirit felt like something's different. Something is going to happen, something's different, something's not right. And it almost felt like things were going to come to an end. So I don't know if anybody else felt that way around Christmas time, but and that's when I started having dreams and stuff too. Was right at the end of, I think, right around the end of December. You'd have to go back and look at my other videos. But anyway, so maybe that's why I felt that way. But I kind of feel like the Lord is saying, you know, by His grace, He has bought us some more time, but it's very short. It's not very long. Um, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about that part of the dream, but that's the way that I felt. And then the alarm went off. And that's pretty, you know, self-explanatory, I think. You know, this dream itself, this warning that I'm having is an alarm. It's a sounding of an alarm. It's a warning for Washington, D.C., for everybody else out there, for New York City especially. Um, that's the alarm. And I feel like disaster is coming. Okay. Then the scene switches, and I have that husband in the car. Now, I was never able to see his face, never allowed to see his face. And I believe that this man represents Jesus, okay? Because Jesus is supposed to come back for His bride, and we are His bride, and in the dream, he was my husband. And I believe that's who he was in the dream. I do. He was with me the entire time, and I think that's what the Lord is telling us during these times, that some, you know, bad things might happen. Even if you feel He's not with you, He is with you the entire time, and He's going to keep us safe. So I know there's a lot of people out there that think, oh, we're going to be gone before any bad things happen. But, you know, one of the things I want you to realize and think about is bad things are happening now, and we are here. Not to say that, you know, the rapture's not going to happen, but there can be some things happen, like a flood or earthquakes that have already happened. Like, you mean, you look at Japan, they just had this big, huge earthquake. You know, we could have an earthquake, something like that, and we might be here for that. Okay? So there are some things that, you know, He's going to be with us and keep us safe. Okay? Now, as for Washington, D.C. and the buildings collapsing, I kind of feel like that represents maybe the government itself collapsing. I'm not so sure it means, I don't know why, but I just don't get the feeling it means every single, you know, place in Washington, D.C. is going to literally collapse. I feel like, because the word collapse kept coming to my mind, I feel like it's the economy collapsing, or government completely changing as we know it with this new world order or something like that. That's what I feel that really represents. Okay. The little girls' names, Katie and Claire. Now, Katie actually comes from Catherine, just like my name does, and means pure. Alright, and then Claire, I had to look that one up. Claire means bright and clear. So I feel as though the Lord is saying He's going to come back and be with the people that are, like, keep us safe, come back for us, the people that are pure of heart, that are bright, shining bright for Him, and that are clear-minded. Stay sober during this time so you can watch for signs, things like that. And just be pure and as holy as you can be. Okay, I think this is something that He's saying. So you can tell me what you think about that part, but I really feel like those names, I think that's what those stand for. Then the part where we're in the hotel. Okay, I know we had been lifted up in the air by a helicopter and taken to a safe place. Okay, this could represent the actual rapture part, or just Him, like I said, Him being with us and keeping us safe during some really bad times. But as for New York City, now I'm not saying something bad about everybody from New York, so please don't take it that way. But we all know that there are certain places in the United States that have more sin than others, okay? Um, New York City would be one. Vegas, okay? San Francisco. And like I said, I'm not saying anything bad about and saying, oh, every single person in these places are sinners, I mean, we're all sinners, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to down anybody and say this whole place is awful. There's definitely holy Christian people there. Um, but for the most part, we all know that there are certain places like that. For instance, I'm in North Carolina right now, and there is a very small town area, very close to me actually, probably about 40 minutes from me, that everybody knows is a very well-known pagan city. So I think probably every state has something like that. It's just that some of these bigger ones are more influential, I guess, to the United States, such as New York City. Everybody knows New York City. And I feel as though judgment is coming upon New York City. One, because there is a lot of sin that's going on there. The other thing is, we all know about the tower, or the temple, not tower, the temple of Baal that they were going to put there. And then they said it's canceled, okay? But now they're putting something else there, which is basically the same thing because it's the gateway to the temple of Baal. So it's pretty much the same thing. They just come up with something very similar. And I know they already put one up in London. It's supposed to be there, I think, for 3 days or something. And then it's moving somewhere else. And then it's supposed to come to New York City. Now, this is what I've heard from other videos I've seen and reports I've read and stuff on the internet. Well, that's not good. We all know that. So I think that the Lord is going to be judging New York City. So one thing don't worry about, though, like I said in this dream, the Lord is going to stay with the people that are His, that are saved, that are living right, that are trying to be as holy as they can. He will keep you safe, okay? For the other people, I've already prayed for you guys a lot, and I really just hope that you come to your senses and repent and change your life. But this dream really shook me up. It really did, because it's kind of scary to have something like that come into your mind. And then, another thing was I had a dream a couple nights before that, and I only remember just little bits of it, but there was this really huge, tall man. Again, I was not able to see his face, but he was just really, really tall. I remember giving him a hug, and my head was like at his waistline. He was that tall. And it was the most comforting hug I had ever had. So I don't know if he was an angel or if he was supposed to be Jesus. I'm not sure. But he was doing this puzzle of the United States, and I was doing a puzzle of the United States. And he had 4 states that were all blue. His puzzle was wooden, and he had those pieces put together. It's like they were grouped together, and he fit them into the puzzle. And then I had those 4 states that were also grouped together. My puzzle was metal, like a thin metal though, and I had attached that piece to complete that United States. And let's see, hang on, I'm gonna get those states here because I have them on my phone. And anyway, then there was Maryland also stood out in that dream, on that puzzle. That's the only other state I remember was Maryland that stood out, that was not connected to the other ones. It was California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. Okay, those were the 4 that were together, grouped together. and were blue. And then there was also a slit in my puzzle right down that, I'm not sure what it's called, guys. I think it's like they talking about like that fault line or something that, I don't know. But it was right there in that area. It was a slit. And I was supposed to fit a butterfly wing in that slit. And I was trying to fit this butterfly wing in there, and when I go to put it in there, it broke off. So that was a really strange dream too, and that was just a couple nights before this one. So you might want to keep an eye out for me. I no longer have cable. I just can't afford that stuff, guys. And it's just it's ridiculous how much they want to charge us just to have normal things. I can't even get the news anymore. So keep an eye out for stuff like that for me. Anything I have to find out, I have to search anything up on the internet, like CNN.com and stuff, just to find out what's going on in the world now. So you guys keep an eye out for me on California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona, and then also Maryland, if you hear anything about those places. Starting from, it would have been a few days, 2 or 3 days before the dream that I had on the 20th. So anything you hear about that. Also, this dream that I had on the 20th that I was telling you about with Washington, D.C., oh goodness, I had actually, remember the bridge I was telling you about that had the arches? That kind of stuck out to me. So I had Googled, let's see, let me do it right now on my phone. It's a memorial bridge there. And I put Washington. Sorry guys, I'm not trying to take too long. Just bear with me for 1 second. Because I'm doing this with one hand. I'm not that talented. Okay. Anyway, this bridge, okay, I just Googled this, Washington, D.C. bridge. And I don't know if you can see it. Tell me if you can see this. So it says underneath it Arlington Memorial Bridge and Lincoln Memorial. I guess it's near there or something. Can you guys see that? That light's shining on it, isn't it? Well, you can see the arches. There you go. I can see it. Can you guys see that? So that's the bridge I saw, right? Isn't that crazy? I didn't even, like I said, I'd been there like, God, so long ago, I would not have remembered a bridge like that. That's crazy. That is so crazy. What is going on? So the bridge is real. So that was kind of a good confirmation to see that it's actually real. Please pray for everybody in Washington, D.C., our president. I know it's really hard to pray for him sometimes, but I do it anyway. And everybody in New York City. This whole gateway thing to the, oh my gosh, that just upsets me so bad, because I know that's really bad. And it's coming right around this whole pagan holiday, Beltane. That's when it's coming, I think, to New York City, which is like May 1st or something. So I still don't see that being a very good sign. I don't know about you guys. I don't see it being a good sign at all, but I'm so tired. I'm sorry. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I gotta get up at 5. And hopefully I can make it in the morning. So, this was my dream. Let me know what you think about it. If you have any other ideas about the calendar or anything like that, let me know. And also, like I said, please, keep me guys updated on what's going on, because I no longer have the cable. I kept my internet. That's all I could afford right now. So just let me know. Okay, so I'm going to go so I can get some sleep. I'm getting silly because I'm so tired. So I'll talk to you guys another time, and God bless you. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.